So, I haven't reviewed any Stephen King films on the Review Warrior yet. I don't think I have anyway. But if I have, it'll probably pop up in the video. But anyway.
The Review Warrior.
So, Thinner was directed by Tom Holland and no, not that Tom Holland, the film director. And it stars Robert John Burke and Joe Montana.
I said Joe Montana.
In the film, an obese lawyer who accidentally kills a Romani woman is cursed by the woman's father to rapidly lose weight. So going into Thinner, I thought I might as well review it because my friend Jello Movie Fan, who I mentioned in my Spawn review a couple of days ago, bought it on Blu-ray. And then I recently bought it on DVD from HMV, for this review. And, because it's Halloween tomorrow at the time I review this film. And, yeah, going into Thinner, I haven't read the book. I haven't read Stephen King. No. I haven't read Richard Bachman's book. Wink, wink. I've only ever watched reviews for this film. I watched it from The Nostalgia Critic. I watched it from Awfully Good Movies at JoeBlow.com. But now I think it's about time the Review Warrior took this film on. So, what did I think of Thinner? It was fine. It wasn't good. It wasn't bad. It was just there. But going into what I liked first. Like I said, going into what I liked first, we have Robert John Burke playing Billy Halleck. He plays this obese lawyer who pisses off a bloke by accidentally running over his daughter. Or I think that wasn't his daughter. It didn't look like his daughter anyway. It looked more like his mum. Anyway. At the start of the film, he's kind of this nice guy who just wants to lose a lot of weight. But as the film goes on, you see him for what he really is. In some bits, he looks a bit sex-crazed. When his colleague asks him to look over at the woman at the festival, and then somehow she hears him, she looks over like, dirty bastard. As the film goes on, when he's losing the weight, he kind of turns into a bit of an asshole. Yes, because he's trying to lift the curse, but still, he can be a bit of a D-bag in the film. Especially in the last 10 minutes as well. I'll get to that in a bit. There'll probably be some spoilers for Thinner. I know it came out nearly 30 years ago, but still. Getting back to what I liked about the film. Yeah, Robert John Burke, he was good in the film as Billy. And next up we had Joe Montana play Richie the Hermit Janelli. I know that was more Marlon Brando, but still, I couldn't resist. I mean, he was Fat Tony in The Simpsons. Joe Montana was good in the film, as was Michael Constantine as Tadzu Lemke. He's the one who cursed Billy to lose weight. He was haunting in the film. He was good. It kind of runs into that thing where it's campy acting. And there's also a bit in the film where it's Elizabeth Franz playing Leda Rosington, who is Carey Rosington's wife, the judge who helps Billy in this case. There's a scene when she's really hamming it up, and she's, when she's talking to Billy, she dials it up to 1,000,000 in that scene. Honestly, it's silly, but it's good. And now we're going to go into something which is good, but it's also bad, and that is the fat suit at the film. When you see Robert John Burke in the fat suit at the start of the film, it looks convincing. I'm pretty sure when it was released in 1996, everyone was like, "Are you sure that's a fat suit?" I think Robert John Burke's fat suit for them was like Brendan Fraser's fat suit in The Whale for us recently. Like in The Whale, you could not tell Brendan Fraser was wearing a fat suit. But then, this is where we come to the problems. As the film goes on, as he loses the weight, the suit looks more and more obvious. Like when he's losing the weight and you see like the skin hanging on his neck. And you see like a little flap on his ear, under his earlobe. And yeah, it does start to get a little bit too obvious as the film goes on. And when he's becoming thinner and thinner, that's when the suit kind of looks so obvious near the end. And another thing, I'm going to go back to Billy for a moment because, like I said before, as the film goes on, He goes from a nice guy all the way to a bit of an asshole. I don't know if that's in the book or not. It probably is. But I think it's just like a sudden character transformation. You know, like a personality transformation. Go from a nice guy all the way through to an asshole. It's just abrupt, you know. Speaking of abrupt, let's go to some spoilers, shall we? So at the end of the film, Billy goes back to the guy who cursed him, and the way he can stop the curse. Right, I'm going to go into some graphic details now. The guy who cursed Billy slices his hand, the blood goes into the pie, starts breathing weirdly enough. It looks like the breathing door from Weird Science. And if someone eats that pie, then Billy can have his life back. But the person who eats the pie dies. And then after that, when Billy gets back to his wife, he gives her the pie. She eats it. She dies. You see her in bed. And he goes full psycho and kisses her on the lips and goes, strawberry pie. I'm just like, ugh, dude, come on. But that's not the worst bit. Suddenly, he goes downstairs, sees another piece of the pie missing. It turns out that his daughter ate some of the pie as well. But then he goes to eat the pie himself to kind of stop his daughter dying. And then Dr. Mikey comes in, who's having a bit of an affair with Billy's wife. Well, Billy's wife's having an affair with him for Dr. Mikey. And then Billy invites him into his home and says, how would you like to join me for a bit of breakfast pie? He takes him into the house, door closes, end of the film. I'm just like, huh? That's how you end it? But then, this is where the trouble comes in paradise, because I have heard that the ending for the film is different to the book. But yeah, apparently at the end of the book, Billy slices a bit of pie for himself and eats it. Apparently that didn't go well with test audiences because it was a bit too dark of an ending. But the ending we got in the film is abrupt. It was kind of like the ending to Live, Die, Repeat, Edge of Tomorrow. That was abrupt as hell, but also so was Thinner. And I'm just like, what? I was disappointed in the ending, I'll say that. And yeah, like I said, the ending was disappointing for me. It was underwhelming. And I was just like, okay, that's really how we're going to end it? Seriously? I feel like I was ripping into the film a bit too much than I thought I was going to. So, let's go to the verdict.
Verdict time.
So in the end, Thinner, it was fine. It wasn't bad. It wasn't good. It's kind of a mediocre Stephen King adaptation. I think the best one for me has got to be the 2017 It. I loved It. But like I said, it's not a complete shit show. I love the acting from Robert John Burke. I love the acting from Joe Mantegna. And I'll say this, some of that food did look really good. So anyway, with that being said, I'm going to give Thinner a B-. So Thinner, have you seen it? What did you think about it? Or what's your favourite Stephen King adaptation? Whatever it is, comment below. Let me know. I've been the Review Warrior. Thank you so much for watching and checking out this video. Make sure you like, make sure you subscribe. And thanks again to everyone who subscribes to me. I'll probably make it to 1,000 subscribers about halfway through 2026. The dream is to make it to 100,000 subscribers just so I can have one of those silver blacks. They look really cool. So anyway, cheers so much for watching. Make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, and be sure to check here for more reviews. Coming soon.